Hello dear students and welcome once again to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone classes, and I am your teacher Amit Ajmani. Now students, we have been taking up a few sessions on vocabulary, and in our previous session we discussed about the roots of words. I hope that you must have gone through, and I hope that you still remember what exactly is meant by roots of words and what were the various roots. Obviously you must not be able to recall each and every word that we discussed, but still, the basic idea you must have got. Now, every word, not every I should say, but mostly all the words, they have a particular root. Fine, let us say this is the root of the word. Now, we make so many words just by adding something in the beginning or adding something at the end. This something in the beginning and this something in the at the end, this is what we are going to study in today's lecture, and this something and something are known as prefixes and suffixes. Let us try to relate them one by one. First of all, let us go through what a prefix is. Pre is before, in advance. So, prefix is a letter or a group of letters that appears at the beginning of a word, and it changes the word's original meaning. At times, it actually conveys just the opposite. For example, obey is a word. We just add a prefix this. This prefix altogether changes the meaning and makes opposite. Similarly, we talk about aerobic. Now, aerobic is in the presence of oxygen. Just by adding a prefix an, it becomes anaerobic. Now, this becomes in the absence of oxygen, altogether opposite. So, if we are talking about a particular root of a word, for example, aerobic, for example, obey. So the this and the and that we use before this particular word, that is called a prefix. And now what is a suffix? It is a letter or a group of letters that is usually added on to the end of words. And again, they change the way a word fits into a sentence grammatically. They change the usage of that particular word. For example, if I am talking about smart, now this smart is an adjective. He is a smart boy. She is a smart girl. But if I add a suffix ly, now it becomes smartly, and now it is an adverb. He has done the work smartly. So this ly is added at the end of the word, and this has changed the way the word fits into the sentence. Initially, the word smart was getting fitted in the form of an adjective, but now by adding ly to it, it has become an adverb. So this is what a suffix does. Now these prefixes and these suffixes, collectively they are known as affixes. This we have studied in the previous lecture also. We talked about, when we talked about roots of words, we just said that if from a particular word we remove the affixes, that is the initial prefix or the ending suffix, then whatever is left in between, that is known as the root of the word. Correct? Now, when we talk about these prefixes and suffixes, these prefixes and suffixes are not words in themselves. They do not make a sense in a sentence if they are used on their own. So they are not standalone words. They don't have any meaning whatsoever if they are used single-handedly, used alone. They have to be used with any particular word, either in the beginning or at the end, depending upon we are talking about prefixes or suffixes. Now, While studying them, we put a hyphen to denote their incompletion, that they are incompleted words. Now, why we are focusing on prefixes and suffixes? Why we have included this in our curriculum? Why we are studying it? There must be some reason, there must be some advantage. So what is the advantage? Let us see. There are many advantages. Let us see one by one. First of all, if we have the knowledge of prefixes and suffixes, we are able to recognize and understand better the words. The root of the word we have tried to learn, we have tried to relate. Now if we know the meanings of the prefixes and the suffixes, we can be right on target of understanding that word. By knowing the prefixes and suffixes, the second advantage is we are able to correlate it with the root words. We are able to relate what exactly the root word in itself meant, and because of these prefixes or suffixes, what has been the changed meaning. And in doing so, quite importantly, it helps in simplifying the complex words. We have been taught right from the beginning when we were child, whether it is the spellings or the meanings. If you want to know, always make sure that you break up the complex sentences into simpler ones. Break them up. This way you will be able to relate, you will be able to make out, you will be able to simplify the meanings of the complex words. And by knowing prefixes and suffixes, we are able to analyze the words with different roots and different meanings. Because we know that if this particular suffix is used or prefix is used, it would mean this, or on the other hand, if something else is used, it would mean something different. So this is what we are going to learn through prefixes and suffixes. Let us talk about a few examples of prefixes first. Prefixes, the words or the group of words, alphabets, letters that are used before a word. So they are always used in the beginning of a word. For example, ambi or amphi. The meaning is both. For example, ambiguous, ambidextrous, amphibian, amphitheater, right? So these are the words which use ambi or amphi as the prefixes. A, wherever this A is used, now you see we are putting hyphens. We are putting this hyphen ahead of all these prefixes because if we are using the word a as it is without hyphen, it simply means an article. A and the, he is a good boy, right? So this is we are using as a prefix. So that is why rather than writing a, we are putting a hyphen to show their incompleteness. That this a, it should be joined with some other word. Then it is called to be a prefix. And wherever a is used, it simply means without. For example, atypical, apathy, aback, asymptomatic, right? Without symptoms. So A means without. Wherever anti is used, it means before, antecedents, antediluvian, antemeridian, right? So this is ante. One a and ti is also used. This anti is also prefix which means against, anti-social, right? Anti-society, anti-national. So anti and ante, you need to relate both separately. Don't get confused in between them. Okay, just because their pronunciation is same, don't get confused. Next is Benny. This Benny means good. For example, benevolent, benediction, benign. Fine. So wherever this Benny is used, it means good. By means two. Wherever is the bi is used, it means two. Bicycle, bicameral, biannual. Fine. So bi means two. Circum. Circum means around in English. For example, circumference, circumlocution, circumspect. So this is around. Die. This die also means two. So bi and die both means two. Dichotomy, diurnal, dilemma. So wherever this die is used, it means two. Dis means faulty, dysfunctional, dyslexia. Okay. Epi, it means on or upon or over. For example, epigram, epitaph, epidermal, epicene, epilogue. So many words. Epicenter. So many words with epi. Extra or extro, it means more than or it means beyond. Extracurricular, extraterrestrial, extrovert, extravagant, extraordinary. So wherever we are using this word extra, it means more than ordinary, more than something beyond the curriculum, something beyond the territory. So this is means by extra. Intra is within, intravenous, within veins, intramural, intra-class, within the class, right? But if we use inter, this inter means across. For example, interhouse, interval, intermediate. Now here I would like to focus on this particular aspect of intra and inter. Intra means within. For example, if you have an intra school competition, intra school, any type of activity, so that means that activity is between different classes of your same school. That is intra school activities. But if we say inter school activities, that means now more than two schools are participating. Inter school is between different schools, between various schools. Intra school means between various classes and various students of the same school. Okay. Next is macro. Macro means big. Macroeconomics, macrocosm, macro level. Another is micro. Micro means small. Microorganism, microscopic. Fine. Next is miss. Miss means inappropriate or improper or bad. For example, misbehave, misdemeanor, misappropriate, misnomer. Everywhere, wherever miss is used, it means inappropriate, improper, or bad. Mono relates to one. Monolith, monologue, monogamy, monoacting. It relates to one. Multi relates to many. Multitasking, multifacet, multilingual, multilevel. This is many. Neo. Neo relates to new. Neonatal, neophyte. This relates to new. New. Omni means all. Omnipresent, omniscient, omnivorous. That relates to all. Wherever this prefix para is used, para means related or extension or beyond. For example, Paralympics, paragraph, paraphrase, paragliding. All these words, they are using para as a prefix. Poly, poly means many. Polygamy, polygon, polythene. Proto, proto means first of its kind or original. Protozoa, prototype, protocol. Wherever re is used, it signifies again or back, repeat, restate, restore, rewind, reduce, recycle. Okay. Semi means half or partly. Semi-finals, semi-conscious, semi-circle. These are all using the word semi as a prefix. Super. Super means over, above normal, too much, like supernatural, or a superstar, or superb. So this means over, above normal, too much. Tetra means four sides. Tetra pack, tetragon, tetrachloride. Wherever tetra is used, it relates to four sides. Trans. Trans means across, over, beyond limit. For example, transatlantic, transgender, transfusion, translate. Un. It refers to not or opposite, unwilling, unkempt, unusual. So we have discussed a few. There are so many prefixes that we already know. For example, for one, we know it is mono, we studied. For two, it is bi or di. For four, it is tetra. But we also know for three, what is for three? Tri. Tri is used for three. Penta. Penta is used for five. Hexa is used for six. Similarly, an. An is also used as opposite to, just like un. For example, an anaerobic. We just studied an example of an. So there are so many prefixes. It is just like we come across, we read, we understand, we learn, we relate, and we try to remember. That's it. These are just a few prefixes that we studied, and now we'll be going through a few suffixes. Just like prefixes, we'll be discussing a few main suffixes. Let us try to relate one by one. Able or able. It is used in the form of a verb and it says can be done. For example, capable, readable, convertible. That means it can be read, it can be converted. Fine. Similarly, AC or simply C, that is office or state of or condition. It is used as a noun. Infancy, condition in which a person is young. Privacy, state of being secret. Agency, this is the office of an agent, right? Age. Now this, when used as a suffix, it acts as a verb and it shows action or process. Pilgrimage, bondage, pilferage, so many places where we can use this age. Aryan refers to a person, librarian, humanitarian, grammarian, right? Vegetarian. So it relates to a person. Asian, whenever we use this word Asian after any particular word, it is used as a suffix, it acts as a noun and state of is the meaning. Refrigeration, occupation, irritation, irrigation, frustration, state of getting frustrated, right? Quite importantly, ectomy. This is used in science lot many places. Ectomy acts as a verb and it means surgical removal of something. For example, hysterectomy, colectomy, polypectomy. Wherever this ectomy is used, tubectomy, vasectomy, you must have gone through these words in your 10th class science, reproduction, how do organisms reproduce chapter. Next is fic. This is an adjectival form which when added to a verb means making, doing or form of. Beatific. terrific, scientific, calorific. Clear? Next is eferous. It means bearing or carrying or producing. For example, vociferous, calciferous, lactiferous. Ism. This is very common, used as a noun in a verb, and it means beliefs, faith, or doctrines. Theism, antagonism, regionalism, fanaticism, heroism, baptism, plagiarism. Same ism, you can see so many words, very common. Aist, again very common. Person or one who believes in. Racist, theist, misogynist, wherever this ist is used. Next is ein, used as a suffix, and it makes a word into an adjective once it is used with any word, and it means characterized by or pertaining to. For example, feline, supine, serpentine. So many words with ein also, quite a common suffix. Oid, once again, it makes a word used in the form of an adjective, means resembling to. Steroid, anthropoid, ovoid. This is wherever oid is used. Ose. This ose, once again, in the form of adjective, the word is used full of. Jocose, verbose, lactose, maltose. Everywhere we have used the suffix ose. Logy is the science of or study of. Very common. Biology, geology, zoology, psychology, astrology, sociology, right? Study of. Ly. Now, wherever this ly is used, it makes it in the form of adverb, in the manner of. It is the meaning motherly, fatherly, timely, rarely, beautifully, smartly. Clear? Ship. The very first word comes to you is friendship. No? It is used in a verb in the form of a noun, and it means state of or the manner. Friendship, censorship, hardship. Correct? Next is oses. Wherever this oses is used as a suffix in a word, it makes it a noun, and it means condition, neurosis, osmosis, psychosis. Clear? Stir, used as an adjective in the likes of monster, youngster, prankster. Fine. Tude, wherever this tude is used, state of, used as a noun, attitude, altitude, gratitude. Wise, by or means of, this is the meaning, clockwise, otherwise, lengthwise, breadthwise. Fine. So this is wise. These are a few examples of suffixes. Once again, just like prefixes, we are just not confined to only these suffixes. There are hundreds and hundreds of other suffixes also. So the more you study, the more you observe, the better you will become. It is just in order to give you a basic idea of what suffixes are. It doesn't mean that only these are the list that we have studied in prefixes and suffixes. Only these are the only prefixes and suffixes. No, not at all. There are so many others which are being used, and importantly, this is the beauty of English language, that English language, just like any other language, is growing. Now, what do you mean by word growing? Means new words are formed. New words are added in the language every other day, and how they are actually being, new words are being made just by the use of new prefixes and new suffixes. The usage in the sentence makes it different. Fine. So this is just a basic idea, And I'm not at all expecting any one of you that just by listening to what I have taught or just by reading all these prefixes and suffixes, now you are 100% aware of all these and you have learned them by heart. Not at all. In the very first lecture itself, only when we started vocabulary, I every second or every third class, I keep on reminding you people that it is a very, very slow process. You cannot expect wonders. It's not a magic wand that is going to make any magic spell. It is not an injection which, when injected, will make you unconscious, and when you will wake up, now you are the best and best in vocabulary. No, it is not a tablet of headache. You have it after 1 hour, you feel better. No, it is not like that. It is a very slow process. Building up vocabulary requires so many things. It requires, first of all, your observation. Second thing, your consistency. You should observe the things. You need to be consistent in your efforts and you need to implement everything that you have been observing and learning. Unless until you implement, it's altogether of no use. We are just wasting our time just understanding, teaching, and studying all this stuff. And while implementing, it is not possible, I repeat, it is not possible that any one of you starts using all these roots of words and synonyms and antonyms and prefixes and suffixes the next day onwards. No. Prefixes, if you are taking, just try to take 4 or 5 prefixes. Try to relate all the words that you can think of, starting with those prefixes. Next day, another 5. Next day, another 5. In 3 4 days, the prefixes will be over. Same way, another 2 3 4 days, suffixes will be over. You will require minimum 1 week in order to understand prefixes and suffixes only. Similarly, 1 week for roots. Similarly, 1 week for next topic. And this is how week after week, month after month, you become better and you start associating the things. Now onwards, in the previous lecture, we done the roots of the words. In this lecture, we have done the prefixes and suffixes. Now onwards, if you find any word, now you will go into the depth of that word. What is the prefix being used here? What is the suffix being used here? What is the left word before this prefix and suffix? After removing it, what is the word left? That is the root of the word. What is the meaning of the whole word? What is the meaning of the prefix or suffix part? What is the meaning of the root word? When they are collectively used, how the meaning has changed. This is the beauty of English. But for this, you need time, you need efforts, you need consistency. Fine. So just on the basis of the prefixes and suffixes that we have just done, let us try to relate and just try to find out what we have learned so far. Fine. Now in this exercise, question number 1, we have to use a prefix to find the opposite of the given words. So we cannot use any prefix. We have to make sure we have to use such a prefix which is the opposite. For example, rap is a word. Now, what exactly I should add in front of this rap in order to make its opposite? It is unwrap. So by adding un as a prefix, now it becomes the opposite of wrap. Next, connect. If I'm connecting, then I want something to get opposite of it, so that will be disconnect. By using this, now I have made the word which is exactly opposite of connect. Next word is behave. Just try to relate in your mind what is the prefix that could be used. If you are able to relate and it matches with the answer that I am telling, very good. Otherwise, try to relate and learn and try to apply in the next topics. Behave, we will use miss, and now it becomes the opposite, that is misbehave. Fold. Fold, if I add un, of course again it becomes opposite of it, that is unfold. Next word is spell. You are spelling it correctly. If you add miss, it becomes misspell. Behave, similarly we have used it above, it has been repeated, misbehave. Comfortable, using un, it becomes uncomfortable, opposite of it. Ability of doing something, just by adding in, it becomes inability of doing something. Symptomatic means having symptoms of something. If I just add a, it becomes asymptomatic, opposite of symptomatic altogether. Willing, willing to do something, just adding un, now it becomes unwilling to do something. Okay, so this un is used as a prefix. Appropriate, I just add in before it, it becomes inappropriate. Usual, I will add un, it becomes unusual. Aerobic, I'll just add an, it becomes anaerobic. So you see, an, un, in, un, a, in, un, miss, un, dis, un. These are all the prefixes that we have used in the beginning of any particular word, and just by adding these all together, the whole meaning becomes opposite. That is the beauty of the prefixes. Fine. Comfort, one is left. Comfort, discomfort. Okay, how we left it, discomfort. Right, let us come to the next question. What we are required to do here is complete the following sentences by using the appropriate form of the word given in the bracket. We have to use the appropriate form, and for this we can add either a prefix or a suffix depending upon we actually have to make use of the word in its appropriate form in the sentence. Let us see one by one. The team he supported was able to win the dash, and we have been given the word champion. Just try to revisit the question again. The team he supported was able to win the what? Win the championship. If I just add this ship, then the word becomes championship. So the team he supported was able to win the championship. Clear? Next, I think that you should dash your decision. It may not be the best thing to do. A person has taken a particular decision, and now a second person is advising, because the second person feels that the decision of the first person may not be the best thing to do. So he's saying that he wants that the first person should dash his decision, consider. So I will add re. He should reconsider his decision of doing something. Fine. Next, the CEO has been responsible for many dash decisions. Now we are holding the CEO to be responsible for many popular decisions, and if we have to use this word in some other way, then we may blame him for his unpopular decisions. So we have added un before and now it becomes unpopular decisions. Next, his dash comments made him disliked by the female employees. In the bracket, the word given is sex. So his sex comments. No, his sexist comments. I will add ist, right, as a suffix. So now his sexist comments made him disliked by the female employees. Next is quite simple. I think that you all must be able to do it on your own. Dash of speech and belief is extremely important for the health of an individual. Word given is free. So free of speech, it is freedom of speech. So we will add DOM as a suffix, freedom of speech and belief, right? Next, some TV shows are completely suitable for children. They must not watch them. When we are saying that the students, the children should not watch them, that means the TV shows are not suitable. And what is the word for not suitable? That is unsuitable. So we will just add un as a prefix and now it becomes unsuitable. Correct? Next, the party was dash. Word given to us in the bracket is disaster, comma, everything went wrong. So the party was totally a disaster. And how do we use it? We use it by using this disastrous. So we have changed a bit of the words disaster, we have converted into disastrous. The party was complete disaster or the party was disastrous because everything went wrong in the party. Next, they had to tranquil the lion before they could catch it. So it is the process in which we are actually tranquilling. So this process is tranquilize. The authorities, the people, they tranquilize. They had to tranquilize that lion before they could catch it. Next, he needed to dash the temperature regular. So what we will use here is regulate. He needed to regulate the temperature, maintain the temperature. Okay. Next is you need a dash of motivation, organization and revision to learn English. Now this is very good sentence, applicable to our class, applicable to you people, and this is something which I always keep on telling you every second class, that you need a dash, combine of, the word used will be combination. You need a combination of motivation, organization and revision to learn English. Now, combination word is correct. I do not want you to focus more on combination. I want you to focus on this whole sentence. If you want to learn English, you need to organize yourself. Then you need motivation. You need a purpose of doing it. And obviously you need to revise it again and again. Just what I was telling around 15-20 minutes back, that one time reading and going and understanding is not going to help you much. You need to revise again and again. Just a quick revision. We don't have to sit for 2 hours, 3 hours. No, just a particular topic, maximum for 5 minutes. Just read that page or 2 pages every fourth, every fifth, every sixth day for 5 minutes. That is it. Do it for 3 weeks, twice in a week, 5 minutes each. After that, trust me, you will see you won't require to look at it again. But 3 weeks, twice a week means you have to do any particular topic 5 or 6 times. Just reading 5 minutes every time you sit, not more than that. After that, you will realize that yes, it works. So, this is a bit of an exercise just in order to make sure that whatever we have studied, we are able to relate, that we have understood it, and we should know how exactly we will be able to implement. So, with this, I'll be ending up this session of prefixes and suffixes. I hope that you all must have understood all what I have taught to you in this particular topic, and you must have noted down a few things. And now onwards, you will start searching for the words, looking to just get the deeper details about how that word exactly was made. Root of the word, prefixes, suffixes. So the previous lecture and this lecture, both combined together, will help you a lot in understanding and finding new words. Okay, my dear students, so I'll take a leave. We'll meet you with the next session very soon. Till then, take care of yourself and enjoy, guys. Thank you so much.